script isn't quite there, and you don't know how to make it get there. When I read the script for the pilot for Everybody Loves Raymond, I just thought this is a beautifully written.
The comedic characters and relatable storylines of Everybody Loves Raymond helped the show achieve widespread success in the 1990s, which contributed to the show's rapid rise to popularity among viewers. The atmosphere, however, was not always as upbeat as it appeared on screen. The show contained some dark moments and concealed truths, and the atmosphere behind the scenes was not always as cheerful as it appeared on screen. Patricia Heaton's decision to keep certain information a secret while filming the show was one of the most intriguing aspects of the series. Come along with us as we uncover all of the mysteries that lie behind the scenes of Everybody Loves Raymond filming. In order to create the television show Everybody Loves Raymond for CBS, comedian Ray Romano drew inspiration from his own life and incorporated elements from his individual experiences. Ray Barone, a sports writer, is the protagonist of this story. He lives with his wife Debra and their 3 children under his roof. It is a notable sitcom of the 1990s because the comedic aspects of the series are enhanced by the close presence of Ray's parents, who are intrusive, and his brother, who is jealous and brooding. The television show Everybody Loves Raymond was honored with 15 Emmys over the course of its 9 seasons, demonstrating the show's enduring significance in the world of television. It is possible that the general audience did not pay attention to a number of aspects that took place behind the scenes of the show, despite the fact that it received widespread praise. In addition, there are unexpected shifts in the cast, as well as dramatic occurrences that take place off-screen, all of which contribute to the production's interesting layers. Although it is possible that these particulars do not have a direct impact on the humor and charm of Everybody Loves Raymond, they do offer a fascinating glimpse into the intricate development of the show. It was initially the title of the show that Ray Romano did not like. During the initial opening sequence of Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray introduces his family members to the audience while they are standing on a moving belt outside of their residence. As the introduction comes to a close, Robert makes the statement that Everybody Loves Raymond. The title of the show was derived from a remark made by Ray Romano's actual brother, and CBS decided to use that remark as the basis for the show's temporary name. In spite of the fact that Romano found the title to be catchy, he initially had reservations about it being the final name for the show because he was concerned about the possibility of criticism. However, as the show continued to garner praise from critics and be honored with a number of awards, the title started to feel more appropriate. The show skyrocketed to such a level of popularity that another show, Everybody Hates Chris, even made a joke that made reference to the show's well-known title. Alterations were made to the children's names. The dynamics of family life were frequently depicted in sitcoms by including children as members of the cast more often than not. One particular example that deviates from this pattern is the television show The King of Queens, which featured a married couple who did not have any children. During the process of developing the television series Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray Romano drew inspiration from various aspects of his own life, particularly when it came to the development of the personalities of the child characters. Romano was the father of 3 children at the time that the television series was on the air for the first time. His daughter was named Alexandra, and he had twin sons named Gregory and Matthew. As a reflection of Romano's actual family, the children in the pilot episode were given the names Allie, Gregory, and Matthew. On the other hand, Romano became concerned about the similarities between the show and his own life, and he made the decision to create a distinct divide between the fictional world and the real world. As a consequence of this, the names of the sons in the series were changed to Michael and Jeffrey, while the name of the daughter, Allie, remained the same. Through the use of this choice, Romano was able to achieve a delicate balance between drawing from his own life experiences and developing distinct personalities for the characters in his television series. As a result of this, Everybody Loves Raymond was able to successfully convey the complexities of family relationships while simultaneously maintaining the integrity of the show's artistic elements and respecting the privacy of Romano's actual family. Are you aware that the replacement of the children with different actors was also a possibility? Despite the fact that they were not featured as prominently as they are in most sitcoms, the inclusion of the Barone children in the show added a layer of complexity to the way it depicted relationship dynamics within families. It is possible that some viewers did not notice the subtle change in casting that occurred as a result of the initial lack of emphasis placed on the children involved in the production. Initially, the characters of Matthew and Jeffrey Ferreira, who are the twin sons of Ray and Debra, were portrayed in the pilot episode by real-life twins Justin and Drew Ferreira when they were introduced. In spite of this, it became clear that the Ferreira twins had developed into more mature individuals as the series progressed, which led to the decision to replace them in their respective roles. Madeline Sweetin, who had been chosen in the past to play the role of Allie, the daughter of the Barone family, also had two younger twin brothers named Sawyer and Sullivan Sweetin. This is an interesting fact to take into consideration. As a result of the Ferreira twins' decision to step down from their respective roles, these identical twin brothers were ultimately chosen to play the roles of Michael and Jeffrey. Fans speculated about the physical resemblances of the children to Ray, as none of them shared a strong likeness to him. This particular casting choice prompted many fans to speculate about the children's physical similarities to Ray. Consequently, this resulted in the development of imaginative interpretations and theories among the devoted fan community of the television show. A distinctive element was added to the show with the introduction of the Sweetin siblings, which allowed for a more natural exploration of the dynamics and relationships within the family. In spite of these changes, the Barone offspring continued to play an important part in the series, which contributed to the success of the show and made it more appealing to a large number of viewers. A problem that Brad Garrett struggled with was alcoholism. It is indisputable that one of the series' most notable characteristics was the performance of Brad Garrett, who portrayed Ray's brother Robert in the show. His skillful portrayal of the character's complicated mix of emotions, including jealousy and melancholy, was a contributing factor in his accomplishment of winning 3 Emmy Awards over the course of the show's run. In spite of this, Garrett had to deal with challenges in his personal life that were very different from the positive image he presented on screen. In the years that followed the conclusion of Everybody Loves Raymond, Garrett bravely divulged information about the challenges he faced as a high-functioning alcoholic while the show was being filmed. It was revealed by him that he frequently performed while under the influence of alcohol, particularly during the first season. Garrett, knowing that his life was in danger as a result of his actions, made the decision to give up drinking before the end of the first season. This decision was made in order to confront the negative consequences that his actions had brought about. A sudden realization dawned on me that my very existence was in danger of being taken away from me. Garrett's determination to overcome his addiction and make his health a top priority is illustrative of the character traits of fortitude and resilience that he displayed throughout his struggles. As a result of his decision to directly confront his challenges, he was able to lay the groundwork for a healthier lifestyle and demonstrate the effectiveness of self-awareness and determination in overcoming challenges. Also, he was the one who started the wage dispute. When a television series achieves a significant level of popularity, as was the case with Everybody Loves Raymond, it can be difficult to determine what constitutes appropriate compensation for all of the parties involved. There were some individuals who were able to receive significant salary increases as the show gained more and more success, while there were other individuals who did not experience the same compensation adjustments. Ray Romano, who was the show's co-creator and also served as the show's lead actor, was awarded a significant salary increase in the year 2003, which propelled him to the position of being the highest-earning actor in the television industry. Romano was able to earn $1.8 million per episode as a result of this significant pay rise, in addition to receiving supplementary earnings that are referred to as residuals. Nevertheless, when Brad Garrett, who played Ray's sibling Robert, found out that he was only earning $160,000 per episode, he became dissatisfied and made the decision to leave, thereby temporarily ceasing his involvement in the show. He was joined in his decision by a number of other actors who followed in his footsteps. After a few weeks had passed, the remaining cast members successfully negotiated higher salaries, and they eventually went back to playing their roles on the show following this. Disagreement behind the scenes. It is not uncommon for actors working on the sets of highly acclaimed and successful sitcoms to have disagreements with one another, which is a reflection of the dynamics that exist in real families. Disagreements of this nature can occasionally be traced back to divergent political positions. Patricia Heaton, who is best known for her role as Debra on the series, voiced her staunchly conservative beliefs, which led to disagreements with her co-star Peter Boyle, who held liberal viewpoints that were in contrast to her own. It has been stated by Heaton that despite the fact that they hold different opinions, their interactions were always characterized by a respectful and cordial demeanor. They would maintain a sense of amusement about their divergent points of view by engaging in lighthearted banter about the differences between them. The fact that Heaton was present at Boyle's funeral in 2006 is evidence of the high regard in which she held him. In addition, she mentioned Boyle's support throughout her struggles, from her addiction to alcohol. Furthermore, Patricia's biological father was involved in the production of the show as a member of the cast. Everybody Loves Raymond contains a subtle allusion, also referred to as an Easter egg, that establishes a connection between the television series and Chuck Heaton, who is actually Patricia Heaton's biological father. This allusion is found in an episode of the show. Chuck Heaton has been a prominent journalist at the Cleveland Plain Dealer for more than half a century, and he has received widespread recognition for the contributions he has made. One thing that should be brought to your attention is the fact that Patricia Heaton, who plays the role of Debra on the show, is depicted as the wife of Ray, who, by a strange coincidence, is also portrayed as a journalist. A clever method was devised by the writers of the show in order to make a reference to Patricia's real father. This was done because of the similarities in their familial backgrounds. During a particular scene in which Debra is having a conversation with Ray about his co-worker at work, she makes reference to a person by the name of Chuck Heaton. The subtle connection that exists between Patricia's real identity and the role that she plays on the television program can be observed by those who are familiar with Patricia's personal life. She was pregnant on 2 separate occasions while the show was being filmed. Is that something you are aware of? There is a possibility that actors will face challenges during the production of a television program. Patricia Heaton's experience in concealing her actual pregnancies while filming Everybody Loves Raymond is a good example of this. She unexpectedly became pregnant twice while she was running, despite the fact that she already had 3 children and probably did not want any more from her family. As a result of the inability to incorporate these pregnancies into the narrative, the producers were forced to come up with creative methods to conceal them. These methods included the utilization of common practices, such as obstructing Heaton with large props, dressing her in baggy clothing, and employing strategic camera angles. With the help of these strategies, the majority of people were not aware that Heaton was pregnant while the show was being produced. This was due to the effectiveness of these strategies. The cast and crew of Everybody Loves Raymond are deserving of praise and praiseworthy of their extraordinary ability to conceal her pregnancies while they were filming the show. Jennifer Lee, who had previously worked as Patricia Heaton's assistant, started a legal action against her in 2009, claiming that she was not adequately compensated. In violation of the labor laws in California that are designed to protect the rights of workers, Lee accused Heaton of requiring additional work hours without providing fair compensation. Lee made the assertion that she was entitled to $742, and as a result, she made the decision to begin legal proceedings against her celebrity employer. Despite Heaton's prominence as an actress and the demanding responsibilities she has as a mother, this incident suggests that she may have a potential deficiency in her management of hired personnel. It serves as a reminder that even individuals of high status and considerable wealth are still required to adhere to regulations regarding employee pay, despite the fact that Heaton and her legal team managed to maintain a largely silent stance on the matter. The show was based on actual world events and circumstances. The television series Everybody Loves Raymond drew heavily from Ray Romano's personal experiences. However, it is not widely known that numerous conflicts and scenarios depicted in the show were inspired by incidents involving Romano or members of the writing team. This is something that is less commonly recognized. The creator of the show, Philip Rosenthal, would occasionally incorporate verbatim exchanges from his arguments with his spouse into the script of the show. As an example, Rosenthal mentioned a specific instance in which a disagreement regarding a can opener served as the inspiration for an episode of the show. The series came to an end when the writers had used up all of their creative inspiration and were determined to keep the show's quality intact rather than allowing it to lose interest. Rosenthal made a sarcastic suggestion that if the writers continued to produce episodes, it would result in personal strife among them. He stated that they would be forced to have numerous arguments with their spouses in order to come up with new ideas for the show. Because he was GR, Peter Boyle was allowed to play the role. This is Umpy. Throughout the course of the television series Everybody Loves Raymond, the parent figure known as Frank Barone, who was depicted as irritable and short-tempered, was able to generate amusement through the use of comedic situations. A great number of people have expressed their opinion that the portrayal of Frank is in stark contrast to the manner in which Peter Boyle, the actor who plays the character, carries himself emotionally. Nevertheless, a humorous event took place when Boyle met with Ray Romano and Phil Rosenthal to discuss the possibility of Boyle's participation in the stand-up comedy. Boyle made the decision to bring his entire family with him to Universal Studios on the day of the rendezvous that was scheduled to take place there. Unfortunately, they were confronted with a number of challenges, which included overcoming security guards at the entrance, locating a parking spot that was suitable for their needs, and ultimately discovering that they had entered the wrong building. As a consequence of this, Boyle appeared to be in a rather agitated state when he arrived at the meeting. In a subsequent interview with the Archive of American Television, Boyle expressed his belief that his irritable demeanor on that particular day may have been a contributing factor in his successful audition for the role of Frank Barone. As a result of his performance in this particular role, he was nominated for 7 Emmy Awards in a row, which ultimately turned out to be a fortunate turn of developments. During the year 2002, Boyle was informed that he was suffering from cancer. In spite of this, he made the conscious decision to conceal this information from the entire cast and crew during the production. He made the decision to keep his condition a secret from everyone on the team, with the exception of his immediate family and a few friends and acquaintances. His on-screen wife, Doris Roberts, was one of the people with whom he discussed his diagnosis. There were also other people. As he sought her opinion on the matter, he inquired as to whether or not he ought to disclose the information to the rest of the people. On the other hand, Roberts cautioned against it, saying, "No, you do not need to be treated as if you are terminally ill. You need them to continue writing material for your character. This is what you require." Taking her recommendation into consideration, Peter made the decision to continue his participation in the show without disclosing his illness to the general public. It is unfortunate that Peter Boyle's life was cut short when the show was canceled in the year 2005. Despite the fact that it was one of the characters in the movie All Roads Lead Home, it was not shown until 2008 after the actor had passed away. Cancer and heart conditions were the causes of death for Peter Boyle, who passed away in 2006. He was 71 years old at the time of his death. In spite of the fact that he was a remarkable actor, he had a life that was full of fulfillment and left behind an impact that will last forever. Although Ray Romano's real-life brother enjoyed the show, he did not find it pleasant. In spite of the fact that the program's utilization of genuine narratives proved to be successful, there were some individuals who voiced their dissatisfaction. Similarly to Ray's fictional brother Robert, who worked as a law enforcement officer on television, Rich, Ray's real-life sibling, also worked in the law enforcement field. On the other hand, this resulted in Rich being ridiculed by his co-workers because of certain events that were depicted on the show. During an interview, Ray revealed that his sibling had a reputation for stealing items from other officers, which provided a foundation for the ridicule that was directed towards Rich. The incorporation of real-life anecdotes into the show, despite the fact that it has a wide appeal, occasionally resulted in difficulties for the individuals who served as the inspiration behind the narratives. The idea for a potential new television show that would revolve around Robert, the comedic brother of Raymond from the popular sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond, was developed as a proposal. All of the members of the family were held in particularly high esteem by the audience, but Robert was the one who received the most special affection. A spin-off series featuring Robert was conceived by the creators of Everybody Loves Raymond, who were aware of the popularity of Robert and wanted to capitalize on his popularity. The premise of the new show would involve Robert moving to Philadelphia and taking on the role of a gym teacher, depicting his experiences in this new environment. The show would also showcase his newfound experiences. The negotiations between CBS and Phil Rosenthal came to a standstill over the particulars that were required to bring the proposed show to fruition, despite the fact that CBS expressed interest in the concept it presented. There was a possibility that the series that was envisioned would resonate with a large number of people and attract a significant number of viewers. There is a strong indication that Patricia Heaton takes pleasure in playing the role of mother. When it comes to managing her relationship with her in-laws who live nearby and who frequently invade her personal space, the character Debra Barone, who is portrayed by actress Patricia Heaton in the television series Everybody Loves Raymond, has a difficult time. As was the case with a great number of female characters in sitcoms from the 1990s, Debra continuously goes through stressful situations and has the impression that she is being overburdened by her responsibilities and her efforts are not being acknowledged. From the beginning of her run on the show until the end, Patricia Heaton was nominated for a number of awards for her portrayal of Debra, which garnered her widespread praise from the media. In both the year 2000 and the year 2001, Heaton was honored with the award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. This achievement brought her a great deal of recognition. It is noteworthy that she was nominated for the same award every year, despite the fact that she came out on top only twice. At the end of the show, Heaton displayed a range of emotions that were more intense than usual. When a television series comes to an end, it can be difficult for actors to say goodbye to their roles, especially after working together for a considerable amount of time. It was during the conclusion of the 9-year run of the television series Everybody Loves Raymond that Patricia Heaton encountered this challenge. During the final rehearsal, she struggled to say goodbye to her television family and experienced a range of feelings that were all too powerful. Because Heaton shed an excessive amount of tears, she was unable to use her voice, which made it difficult for her to perform her duties in an efficient manner. While Heaton's voice was being repaired, the final episode of the show, which had been recorded in front of a live audience, had to be postponed until the situation was resolved. The intense emotional response that Heaton had to the conclusion of the show highlighted the close bond that had been formed among the cast members, as well as the significance of the experience for her. Following the conclusion of Everybody Loves Raymond, Patricia Heaton discovered a new television family to interact with by playing the role of Frankie Heck on the from 2009 until 2018. In the years that followed, she wrote a book and advocated for causes that were significant to her. Between the years 2019 and 2020, Heaton continued his acting career by appearing in the television series Carol's Second Act. Maggie Wheeler, who is known to viewers of Everybody Loves Raymond for her role as Linda, a companion of Raymond's wife, is one of the cast members of Each and Every Loving Raymond. Officials from CBS determined that Maggie was not qualified to play the part of Debra, despite the fact that she came very close to securing the role. On account of this, Patricia Heaton was ultimately selected to play the role of Debra. Although this was the case, CBS was interested in incorporating Maggie into the show and offered her a smaller role, which she agreed to accept. Those who watched the series and those who were fans of it both expressed their appreciation for her contribution. Doris Roberts passed away in 2016, which is a grave loss. During the course of her acting career, which spanned more than 6 decades, she achieved outstanding success. It was through her participation in a large number of films and television series that Doris was able to garner widespread recognition. Throughout the course of her career, she was recognized with a Screen Actors Guild Award in addition to 5 Emmy Awards. Doris has demonstrated her talent in a number of films and television shows, including Mrs. Miracle and Grandma's Witness Protection, in addition to what she did in Everybody Loves Raymond. The late Doris Roberts, who had reached the age of 90 when she passed away in April of 2016, left behind an enduring legacy in the field of entertainment. The Late Show with David Letterman was the one that gave Ray his big break. Ray Romano originally pursued a career in stand-up comedy prior to becoming famous for his role as Raymond in the television show Everybody Loves Raymond. As a means of supplementing the income he earned from his comedy career, he began working as a delivery man for couches. Ray spent a total of 12 years honing his craft as a stand-up comedian before he was finally presented with the opportunity that set him on the path to success. The producers of The Late Show with David Letterman noticed his talent and were impressed by his performance. He was able to impress the audience with his performance. As a result of Ray's successful appearance on the show, the production company that Letterman works with expressed interest in working with Ray on a television series. Therefore, this defining moment in Ray's career can be credited with being the birthplace of the television show Everybody Loves Raymond. Despite the fact that the show is extremely well-liked and admired by a large number of people, there are some fascinating details that may not be widely known. For example, David Letterman was the one who produced the program, and Ray Romano came up with the idea after being influenced by Seinfeld. Ray's brother, who is a genuine person, expressed his jealousy over Ray's victory at the Cable Ace Awards, which led to the creation of the title Everybody Loves Raymond. Over the course of 11 seasons and airing on Thursday nights, the series was a huge success and achieved a lot of success. There were a total of 15 primetime Emmy Awards that were won by Everybody Loves Raymond, including the highly regarded Outstanding Comedy Series Award in both the years 2003 and 2005. In addition to having a sizable fan base, the show was ranked 61st on the list of the best television shows of all time that was compiled by TV Guide. Let us take a look at the challenges that were faced in the process of adapting your favorite television show for the big screen, now that you are familiar with the conflicts that occurred behind the scenes. Producing the show in question. Beginning with script readings and rehearsals that were carried out by the actors on Monday, each episode of the show was created over the course of a typical work week. On Tuesday, the writers continued their rehearsals and made changes to the script. This was followed by additional rehearsals. The performances of the actors would then be evaluated by CBS on Wednesday, while the camera would be set up and blocking would be done on Thursday in preparation for the filming shoot that would take place on Friday. At the beginning of a typical writing session, the writers would begin by exchanging personal anecdotes, which frequently served as a source of inspiration for the plots of episodes. Everybody Loves Raymond distinguished itself through strong storytelling and relatable humor, drawing from real-life events. Showrunner Phil Rosenthal emphasized sticking to the script, though occasional alternative lines were allowed. The show avoided contemporary pop culture references, opting instead for a timeless feel, with sophisticated credits and piano-heavy music inspired by Woody Allen's Manhattan. Ray Romano based much of the material on his stand-up, reflecting his experiences as a father balancing love for his family with personal freedom. The show focused on adult dynamics, minimizing child roles to keep the spotlight on its mature themes. Critics praised its authenticity, character depth, and balance of humor with family conflicts, comparing it to classics like The Honeymooners. In syndication, Raymond was widely broadcast across networks like TBS and TV Land and remains a staple in various international markets. The series was also released on DVD and briefly streamed on Netflix before being removed in 2016. Critics hailed it as one of the best sitcoms of its time, lauding its cast, writing, and universal appeal. You should click the next video that appears on your screen, as well as like and subscribe to this video if you found it entertaining.